Hello and welcome back to StarCraft II. I've got another game here, another 1v1. This one's between myself and Norwin, the Zerg. So yes, another ZvZ. This is probably the matchup that I struggle with the most. I tell you that every single time. But since I got that new strat that I showed you one or two videos ago, one video ago actually, it was in the previous video, it's really been a lot easier for me. And for some reason, since the new season started, I've been having favored opponents all the time. Nothing else but favored opponents. Not that it really matters, but anyway, I decided to do that strat once again. Here's my Gosu split at the start. And this being one of those new maps, I didn't really know what was going on. I just sort of guessed, and I looked at the map's picture when we started out to just see where the spawns were. This is called Abyssal Caverns, I think. I wasn't really impressed by the new maps. I do like them. I think it's good to have new maps. I think it's good to mix it up a bit with a map pool. But at the same time, the maps, I mean, they're all 4-player maps, firstly. And sure, Blizzard say that they added like one rush map, one macro map, one normal map. And yes, I realized I pulled 2 drones off the line there, not one. And then I actually selected and struggled to get it back there. I mean, silly drones. Just want to get out of my back. Am I that bad a Zerg player that they want to just escape? Anyway, so I did spot his Overlord coming out from the bottom there, and I obviously realized that he must have been at the bottom spawn. So I generally tend to scout anyway, but in this game I must have just not been paid attention because, I mean, I pulled off another drone to have a look at his base along with my Overlord, so that was 2 drones and an Overlord to scout him out. So I was definitely going to see what was happening there. Don't even ask me why I did that. I don't know. I just sometimes don't pay attention when I'm doing that. Force of habit, I suppose. But as in all Zerg versus Zergs, you can have these overlords floating over your opponent's base for such a long time. You can see exactly what he's opening with. You can see exactly what he's doing. And I'm pretty happy for that. I mean, I don't mind. You can see I'm throwing down the 13 pool. I always try to actually go for his overlord when I can. I realize now that having my drone there was pretty pointless. I actually considered even keeping it there to throw down a spine crawler later, but I realized that would be pretty futile, pretty pointless. But I was going to say, I like the fact that you can just mirror each other's builds. You can have a look at what the other guy's doing, and then you can try outdo it. I don't know, I like playing in that way. And I always also like to try chase the overlords down, as I said, with my queen. Even though she's so slow, it's not really much of a chase. But here you go. Going up to 15, getting the gas down, and then 16 another overlord, then getting the queen down, the spine crawler down, Roach Warren down just before the queen pops. I don't know, I sort of got it down now. I've practiced it a few times. I've been trying to get a few more games in, not that many sadly, but I'm trying to get a few more games in, trying to get my StarCraft playing a bit more regular. But yeah, that's one thing I always forget as well, is just getting overlords at the right times. Some reason that's just one thing that I never seem to get right, and I think that just takes a lot of practice. I'll get it eventually, don't worry. But back to the game. Here I was just trying to get my overlord into a position where I could spot when his natural goes up. That's pretty important as well. I'm trying to make a nice tight base build, which in this game you'll see in just a second, it didn't really matter. He wasn't as aggressive as I thought he would be, because for some reason every single Zerg I play against goes mass speedlings and tries to do run-bys in every single game, and it gets a bit frustrating. That's why I actually try as well as I can block my little base off, get the queen where she needs to be, ready to block those gaps. But as I said before, it was pretty futile. He didn't actually come into my base very much in this game. But yes, I'm always happy to see when a Zerg doesn't fast expand against me, because, you know, while at the same time it's nice seeing him fast expand, it just puts that much more pressure on you to actually do something. If your opponent's fast expanding and you just sit back and let him fast expand, then you're going to be in trouble. In trouble and quite far behind. Anyway, getting those roaches out now, and I don't know, I'm not the kind to actually get the roaches out and then push out. I usually wait for my opponent to come to me. I don't know if that's good or not. I mean, the thing is, I could actually be missing opportunities by doing this. I see that he throws down his expansion here, and that immediately makes me worry. But at the same time, I thought to myself, well, if I just throw mine down now, then I should be okay. Only problem here is that I don't know what he's doing in his base. What I've actually had before is players mass up so many speedlings, and they just control the map so well with them. They keep them in their base for a little while, and then they surprise you with them. They just spring them on you. And having 6 or 7 roaches out is good and well, but they can't do anything against 30 or 40 speedlings. I spotted the roaches moving out, so I knew something was coming. I just spotted those roaches coming out, but I needed to get my own expansion down. And one thing I like to do is just throwing down an expansion, even if you're not going to commit to it. If you throw down an expansion, then it'll force him to decide, you know, should I attack his expansion, should I attack his combative units? I was trying to get a bit of nice position there, but I might have just been giving away my position in the process. But as I was saying, throwing down the expansion, when his roaches move in there, he will move to attack my expansion. He won't come up my ramp immediately. As you can see, he goes around all the way around the top there. He had the exact same amount of roaches as me, but I would have the advantage here because my base is so close and I've actually got an idle roach there and I pull it in. But I think I did a pretty good job with the micro here. The first one I did fail on, but then I managed to pull the low HP roaches back. As you can see, not taking too much damage from him, actually saving a few roaches here. But then I saw his speedlings coming in the back and they actually just ruined things for me a little bit. They took out my low HP roaches even after I worked so hard at microing them. I mean, I did win this battle, at least, but when I saw those speedlings coming in, and even more of them moving down the bottom of my minimap, I don't know if you guys spotted that there, but that, like, sort of tipped me off and told me, like, he was going to go sort of all in on this, because that's usually what you do. You get a couple of roaches just to break the opponent's line, and then you keep getting speedlings, as many as you possibly can, to just overrun him. And it looked like he was in that mode at the moment. A lot of speedlings running in here. I managed to pick a few off, and I would be able to clean this up with the amount of roaches I had, but they were going to take down my natural expansion. So that's obviously not good. I wasn't really that worried about it yet. I had a good saturation at my base. I had a lot of drones out. My roaches were just getting more and more, and I was killing a ton of speedlings here. I mean, the amount of speedlings that I killed there, that must have been at least equal to 300 minerals, the amount that my expansion cost, or I suppose 350 if you count the drone as well. But we don't need to get technical here. So, I decided it was time to counter-attack now, because I saw only Zerglings for him out. I threw down my expansion once again. I saw his was up, so if I could at least, that was my goal here, is just at least get his down, then I would pretty much even it out again. Then I decided to do the exact same thing that he did. I just wanted to do it better this time. That was just get a bunch of speedlings in to back my roaches up. So I decided to go for his natural first to try to take it down. I didn't really bother focusing the drones down because with the amount of roaches I had here, I'd probably be able to take the natural down without any problems whatsoever. He wasn't attacking me yet, which meant he probably had less than me. He wasn't confident about what he had in his base. He probably wasted a lot more than he wanted to on attacking me. I mean, with the speedlings he lost, with the roaches he lost, and then he probably cut drones in the process of doing that. So, I don't know what my saturation looks like right now. I didn't actually check, but I got a few free kills here. I got a couple of Zerglings there. I got a Roach. I was feeling pretty confident, so I decided to move up, and when I saw what he had here, then I knew, okay, it was pretty much over. You know, you can actually still lose it from the position I'm in right now, but I was pretty confident where I was. My expansion was about to go up. I was busy losing a spine crawler off the creep there. Wasn't really paying attention at all. My drone count wasn't that great. Looking at it right now, I just glanced at it there, but I was going to have my expansion up soon, and his just went down. So I moved around the top, out of range of those spine crawlers, trying to control my units as well as I could. I probably should have sent my speedlings into his mineral line there just to split him up a bit. I tried to micro a little bit here, unnecessarily I suppose, because you know he didn't have that much left, but he would be able to get those reinforcements in very quickly. I might have wanted to just set my rally point a little bit closer even to get those units in a lot faster, but my speedlings arrived and I was able to clean this up quite easily. Then I decided, okay, I'm just gonna, you know, to hell with it and send everything in because I had enough to clean him up. And that was pretty much it. I mean, this is another kind of game that I don't have that often, where people actually attack with roaches early. It's not something I've faced very often. Usually I just have those speedling run-bys, and for some reason, once again, input limit reached is, you know, a problem that I never seem to be rid of. But apart from the speedling run-bys, it always degenerates into infestor roach play, which I absolutely hate. I would much rather just use mutalisks, but they just seem so weak at the moment, in Zerg versus Zerg at least. But anyway, that's how my game went. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll get another few games up soon, because I am, in fact, as I said, trying to play a little bit more now, trying to get a few more ladder games in. I don't get enough Terran players. I've got a nice solid opening for Protoss, I've got a nice solid opening for Zerg, but I hardly ever face Terran, so when I do face a Terran again, I'm probably going to get ripped to shreds. So if you guys know any good Terran openings for me, if you have anything that you use religiously in every single game that sort of, you know, holds things off and gives you opportunities in the early game, let me know about that below. I've just been trying to do what you guys said and have a game plan when going into the games. Otherwise, keep checking back here soon for more, and happy StarCrafting.